I welcome you all to the session of Indian Secularism. Secularism in a European context. The connotation of secularism, according to Stanley J. Tambia, was a reaction against the thought that God built the world. There were two streams. Primarily, the theological developments within Protestantism stimulated and legitimated scientific investigation in Europe. In the later period, the increase in scientific endeavors and the search for laws of nature made God distant from the scientific activity. The second stream was a dominant of Enlightenment rationalism. The important nature of secularism in Europe is its nature of inquiry about the world order and cosmos, especially in terms of natural causation or natural laws, which rejected metaphysical and theological explanations and objectives, which resulted in the process of separation of the sectors of society and culture from religious symbols and institutions. Marxist philosophy asserted that religion as a part of the superstructure protected the interest of the owners of the means of production. The French Revolution in another sense was led against the feudal structure in which the church was at the top hierarchical position. According to Max Weber's opinion, religious dogmas also have influenced the formation of capitalism and vice versa. The religious norms and value orientation of the Calvinist group in Protestantism influenced in the emergence of capitalism. The rest of the social thinkers classified societies according to the norms and values that existed in the social order, that is, from traditional and to modern society. All the social organizations, including property distribution, power distribution, etc. It was the primary assumption that the social order formed based on traditional religious notions were inherently rejecting the consciousness of the individual, and it assumed that this kind of social organization produced social inequalities. There were discussions of how the religious dogmas emerged as producing agents of social inequalities in the distribution of the resources like power, opportunities, wealth, etc. Now we move to explain the meaning of secularism in the Indian context. Secularism as a concept has its emergence in European society, and it means the separation of the church from the authority, giving the state a position of impartiality between different religions, amounting to even impartiality of the state towards religion, while at the same time confirming all the subjects the right to proclaim any belief. In some ways, the word secular was used as a contrast to the word religious, which sometimes led commoners to believe that secularism is simply the opposite of religion and its practice. But to be precise, it was used not as an antonym to religion, but as disconnected from all religions, or religions have no role or involvement in state affairs. It has come to be interpreted and practiced in a positive sense, different from its negative connotation in Europe. In India, the concept of secularism has been used not as the state's indifferences meaning towards religions, but as the prioritization of all religions in an equal pattern and excluding discrimination of any citizens based on their belief. The long practice and distinct conditions have given specific meaning to the concept of secularism in the Indian context. The state is indifferent but has equal respect and distance towards all religion. On closer analysis, it will be seen that the conception of a secular state has three distinct but interrelated sets of relationship concerning state, religion, and individual. Three sets of these relations are: 1. Religion and the individual; 2. The state and the individual; 3. The state and the religion. Since India is highly spiritual and abundant with different kinds of religion and philosophies, the Western concept of secularism implies anti-religious ideology cannot be applied to India. Even Western writers have supported this view. For instance, Harvey Cox has stressed that secularism does not exclude religion. On the contrary, it breeds religious peace coexistence. There have been different kinds of secularism in India. According to T.N. Madan, religious books are outsellers and religious pilgrimages attract a large population both among Hindus and Muslims in India. He said Muhammad Ali Jinnah played with the religious interest in dividing India. According to Madan, the production relation did not influence religiosity in the country. Gandhi also had the view that religion is inseparable from the state. For Gandhi, according to Madan, religion was the source of absolute value and public activities devoid of value is problematic. While Gandhi put importance on religion based on reforming individuals to a higher level, Nehru was a socialist and secularist in the European sense. He believed that the economic relations of society are stronger than religion. Now we explain more detailed about Gandhi and Nehru and their concept of secularism. Most social scientists, while analyzing secularism in the Indian continent, is describing the Gandhian school and Nehruvian school of secularism. As noted before, Gandhi believed Hinduism and other religion being tolerant and secular could not make the state opposite. Therefore, the need for separation of religion and state was no importance. He believed that state, while giving priority and good treatment to all religions, could still maintain equal distance from all faiths as well as religious communities. Nehru held that whatever the characteristics of the various societies may have been, it is not important because the material standard of living of people and scientific perception would give enough basis for secular tolerance. Nehru was an agnostic and his view was that of neutrality of the state in matters of religion. The state would have nothing to do with religion. Thus, his concept of secularism was a negative mold of equal distance from all religions. Jawaharlal Nehru was a leading champion of the secular state. The making of the country a secular nation was one of Nehru's achievements. He had a great aversion to the inclusion of religious influence into the power relation of the state. He was especially concerned with transforming India from a caste-ridden society in which communalism constituted a major threat to all the values that he cherished to a nation state which included people of all religions and shades of opinion and was essentially secular as a state. Religion is all right, he said, when applied to ethics and morals, but it is not good mixed up with politics. Nehru opined that free India should be non-religious and secular, the government of a country like India. Nehru declared, with many religions that have secured great and developed followings for generations can never function satisfactorily in the modern age except on a secular basis. He boasts of the fact that our constitution is based on the secular conception and gives freedom to all religion. Gandhi believed that the religiosity of Indian society had great energy, which should be utilized in the political platform against colonialism. According to Gandhi, the value system of Indian society was of huge strength. In 1928, Gandhi understood that religion have some inherent problems, but they are in one sense or another true and are close to him as his religion Hinduism. His respect for other belief is the same as for his Hindu faith. Though his opinions were like this. He was of the view that there should not be any state religion. Even if the whole community had one religion, state interference would probably always be unwelcome. His view was that the state should be secular in the sense that everyone living in it should be entitled to profess his religion without let or hindrances, so long as the citizen obeyed the law of the land. He was against the view that state needed any religious interest. He thought that other religious practices, including missionary activities, should not be controlled in any way by the state or any others. Now we move to another stream of secularism, Ambedkar and Periyar. There is also another stream of secularism in India, that is of Ambedkar as per Partha Chatterjee. Ambedkar was of a different opinion from all others. He addressed the social inequalities produced by the Indian religious structure. He thought that the removal of religious disabilities which were forced on a group will modernize the Indian social order. He tried to legislative changes addressing these issues of civil disabilities. For example, Hindu Code Bill. It legalized intercaste marriage, legalized divorces and prohibited polygamy, gave the right to the daughter the same right of inheritance as the son. Rather than state distancing from religion, for Ambedkar, secularism was state involvement in maintaining the dignity of the common man in the religious social order. Ambedkar's notion of secularism assumed that religious social order reproduced social inequalities and that the state should intervene in this flagging human dignity and rationalism. It should be kept in mind in this sense that Ambedkar was the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly. Secularism of Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy also was characterized by his notion of inequalities religions perpetuated. Periyar criticized religious dogmas due to their nature of producing social inequalities and blocking human beings from seeing each other as equal. Periyar also thought that the state should take action against the inequalities spread by religion. Both Ambedkar and Periyar understood that religious dogmas are against the equality and basic dignity of human social life, and they understood that the state could intervene in these matters and make the world better. Gandhi and Nehru could not see the nature of inequalities thus religion could produce in social arena. Gandhi was fond of good with the morality of religion, whereas Nehru focused on the material needs of the society. But both of these figures could not establish the idea that the state is responsible for the modernization of society and religions could make it difficult due to its strength of traditional norms and values in the everyday practice of people. Neither Gandhi understood the inherent evils of religion reproduces in society, nor he could take an initiative to incorporate these ideals in state action. Though Nehru did address the material needs of the people, he could not see religion as something able to block the ethical distribution of it. Ambedkar and Periyar understood that religion could influence the distribution of materials and not material resources like power, wealth and opportunities which could be influenced by the state. Common grounds: Jinnah, Savarkar and Ambedkar as per Ashish Nandi. Ambedkar's secularism had a different meaning according to Ashish Nandi from his perspective of secularism. While classifying the Indian secularist stream as a fourfold hierarchy, Ashish Nandi includes Jinnah, V.D. Savarkar and Ambedkar as similar, who hold the idea that they are believers in public but do not believe in private. He says Jinnah was an agnostic while Savarkar was an atheist in private. All of them, according to Nandi's opinion, used religion as a political tool for their political interest. Jinnah and Savarkar used religion as a political philosophy to rule the nation. It should not be neglected that Ashish Nandi has not examined the concept of secularism based on the distribution of resources. Neither he addresses the social inequalities produced by religion, nor he finds a solution for it. Now we move to constitutional provisions of secularism in India. The Constitution of India stands for a secular state. The Indian sovereign state has no official religion. It flags secularism and pervades its provisions, which give full opportunity to all citizens to profess, practice and propagate any religion of their choice. The Constitution not only guarantees a person's freedom of religion and conscience, but also ensures freedom for atheists who has no religion, and it specifically restrains the authority from making any discrimination on the ground of religion. Single citizenship is assured to all persons irrespective of their religion, caste and color. By the Constitution's 42nd Amendment Act 1976, the preamble was amended from the words Sovereign Democratic Republic to the words Sovereign Socialist Secular Democratic Republic. Explaining the secular character of the Indian Constitution, the Supreme Court said, there is no mysticism in the secular character of the state. Secularism is neither anti-God nor pro-God. It treats alike the devout, the antagonistic and the atheist. It eliminates God from the matters of the state and ensures that no one shall be discriminated against on the ground of religion. Article 14 grants equity before the law and equal protection of the laws to all. Article 15 enlarges the concept of secularism to the widest possible extent, prohibiting discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. Article 16 guarantees equality of opportunity to all citizens in matters of public employment and reiterates that there would be no discrimination based on religion, race, caste, sex, descent, place of birth and residence. Under Article 29 and 30, certain cultural and educational rights are guaranteed to minorities. Article 29 guarantees the right to any section of the citizens residing in any part of the country having a distinct language, script or culture of its own to conserve the same. Article 30 provides that all minorities, whether based on religion or language, shall have the right to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice. The preamble of the Constitution in Articles 25 to 28 emphasize this aspect and indicates that it is in this matter the concept of secularism is embodied in the constitutional scheme as a creed adopted by the Indian people has to be understood while examining the constitutional validity of any legislation. The concept of secularism is the facet of the right to equality as the central golden thread in a fabric depicting the pattern of the same in our Constitution. Thank you.